Get fast, reliable internet for any budget. Now qualifying customers can get Xfinity Internet free through the Affordable Connectivity Program. That's right, free high-speed internet from Xfinity. And Internet Essentials customers can get equipment included at no extra cost. Get started today.
We change our minds every day. About 1 million things a day. This is no different. You can't be afraid to be wrong. You can't be afraid to say, you know what, I'm just going to rethink this thing. People are not dying getting the vaccine. I better rethink this thing. I'm going to go call my doctor and have a discussion one more time. It is okay to change your mind.
Want your boss to put some real action behind the rhetoric when they talk about making your workplace more inclusive? Find out how to hold their feet to the fire and demand diversity on the Diversity Dude podcast.
Hello there, and welcome again to the Diversity Dude podcast. I'm your host, Lambert Fisher, marriage and family therapist, award-winning author, and national speaker on the topic of multicultural awareness and diversity. And for those of you who are interested in more positive and encouraging tips and strategies beyond what I share on this podcast, then feel free to check out my award-winning book, Diversity in Clinical Practice, recently recognized as an Independent Book Publishers Association Benjamin Franklin Award Gold winner for the unique way in which I address the often difficult and sensitive topic of multicultural awareness and diversity in an attainable way for everyone. I hope that no matter what your role or your position is, if you are a helping professional in any way, that you consider ordering diversity in clinical practice to help you learn practical and encouraging strategies for meeting the greatest variety of needs, of cultural needs possible for those whom you serve. And similarly, whether it be through one of my one-on-one relationship building efforts as a therapist or my informing and empowering efforts as an author speaker, my personal mission is to do my part to improve the world one strengthened relationship at a time. So, with that, I want to talk to you today about the importance of Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. Now, if you weren't already aware, July is Minority Mental Health Awareness Month, also known as BIPOC Mental Health Awareness Month, in an effort to do two things in particular. The first in this BIPOC sensitive word, the first is to avoid the often implied inferior implications of the word minority. The second is to make clear that the word, while minority can be used in a general sense to include any group that is not the statistical majority in the area, BIPOC highlights in particular Black, Indigenous, and people of color, which includes those of numerous racial and ethnic backgrounds, including African American, Asian, Latinx, Hawaiian, and other Pacific Islanders, and more. Now, for some of you, this is merely just another of the Awareness Month designations that seem designed to make a certain group feel special just because of their minority status. And it is this goal that has put certain people on the caution of putting another group on a pedestal, implying that for the entire month, everyone should look up to them as if on a pedestal and treat them as the most important group of people that month, to which many people reasonably respond, why? What makes them more special than anyone else? Well, let me first make it clear that that's not the focus of BIPOC Mental Health Awareness Month, or any awareness month for that matter, in the specialness sense. The goal here is to help bring awareness, as the name suggests, to the legitimate mental health needs of racial and ethnic minorities, because of the unfortunate reality that these needs are often not as spoken about or addressed or sufficiently met in ways that are effective for those who need it. Which is why, the question then becomes, why is that the case? Well, while there are times when people are aware and simply don't care, that is a thing, there are many who simply are not aware of needs outside of their own, and those who interact with them or who they interact with on a regular basis, it might not be applicable to them in that way. If, however, more people are made aware of minority mental health needs, the hope would be that there will be more people who will be willing to be involved in meeting minority mental health needs, not to be considered above anyone else's mental health needs, but to ensure that they are not overlooked and are instead intentionally included in a greater variety of mental health needs services being provided. Now, even if you're not a mental health professional, you have the opportunity to support or improve the healthy and balanced mental health of everyone you encounter, from those in your household, your extended family and friends, your neighbors or colleagues, and more. Sure, mental health professionals like myself do so full time and have specialized training to do certain things in certain ways and address things at a certain severity. However, you may be the one in your environment for those who you care about to help encourage someone who's discouraged, to help bring someone to a sense of hope who's feeling hopelessness, to empathize with someone who's feeling depressed, or to reassure someone who's feeling anxious. These are not minor things. They can have a significant impact on someone's life and well being today and for years to come. Now, for those of you who are already open to helping support or improve the mental health of those around you, know that not every mental health need is the same. And that's because the contributing factors that lead to or amplify those needs differ. On this topic of BIPOC Mental Health Awareness Month, it's worth noting that, on one hand, because various mental health struggles originate from a combination of internal, physiological, or external relational factors, there are thus many similarities among cultural groups as it relates to mental health struggles, how they look, how they experience, how you go about helping make progress and improve their lives. That being said, on the other hand, while no one's lives are perfect and everyone has legitimate struggles in their own way, people of color have historically experienced unique experiences that have led to an impact on their mental health in a way that is different in how it looks, how it's experienced, and consequently, whether it's understood or misunderstood by those who experience things differently, or how they're supported or not supported by those who experience things differently. For example, after many nationally publicized news stories of people of color being killed at the hands of law enforcement officers, just as one example, or many examples of that one example, several of my clients described how they were impacted by what they witnessed in the news. They didn't experience it personally, but they were witnessing it on the news. And they described how, even though they weren't the victims personally, they related in ways that impacted their day to day well being, how they performed at work while distracted, or even how they interacted with family and friends, because they felt like their lives were so similar to the person who did experience it. It could have just as easily been them that day, someone who they knew or cared about. Their job or degree wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have guaranteed their safety or their children's safety. The fear and the resulting sense of futility contributed to feelings of anger and frustration at no one in particular. And yet they didn't feel safe to express or explore those feelings of anger or frustration for fear of someone else's feelings getting hurt by their hurt feelings, taking it personally in a way that wasn't directed at them, or for fear of having their feelings of anxiety or depression dismissed by someone who concluded that they didn't have a right to feel that way because they weren't personally experiencing a particular incident. Fortunately, the people who I'm referring to had the pleasure, the benefit of an emotionally safe environment of the therapy room to identify those feelings that they were having, explore their origins, wrestle with the impact that they wanted to have on their life, and move forward on their own terms at home, in the workplace, in their own personal lives. Fortunately, many people wrestle with difficult life experiences and their resulting feelings alone. They don't feel like they have a safe place to wrestle with the feelings themselves, who they want to be, how they feel, and how they will represent their true self in the healthiest way possible, especially if that healthy way doesn't look the same way as those around them. Sometimes, as a result, legitimate feelings get expressed in illegitimate ways. Jobs are unnecessarily lost after these interactions. Relationships are unnecessarily broken after these interactions, and lives are impacted nonetheless. Now, let me be clear. Life can be hard for everyone and anyone at any given time. However, for various reasons, maybe financial access reasons, or distrust of the healthcare system, or social stigmas, maybe fears of occupational judgment of their competence based on their expressions, whatever reason, people of color do not often have a history of valuing mental health care enough to meet the growing experiential needs to do so, based on the unique cultural traumas and stressors that are witnessed or experienced every day. Nor do they have a history of maximizing mental health resources to help meet those needs. I hope for you, no matter where you are in the service provider or just in your daily lives, even without needing to be a mental health professional, is that you will be willing to join in the challenge to not only value your own mental health and well-being, but also to help encourage those around you to do the same. Maybe you could be the one to help someone not dismiss the need to take steps to manage their own stress. Maybe you could be the one to help someone see the legitimacy of their own feelings, despite the illegitimate way they may be expressing it at the time. To learn how to express those feelings, identify those feelings, and learn how to do it in the healthiest way possible. Not only that, but instead of just winging it and making personal efforts to do so based on our own past experiences of not enough support, maybe you could be the one to help someone take the risk of finding and actually utilizing culturally competent professional mental health support to help them identify, maximize their own strengths, their own skills and abilities and resiliencies that they can use to improve their own life, to learn more along the way from the professional support, and to live their best life possible, the best emotionally balanced and healthy mental health, healthy life possible. With that, I'll say thank you again for listening in to today's Diversity Do podcast. And if you have any pressing diversity related questions that you'd like me to address on an upcoming podcast, or if your organization is in need of shame-free and empowering guest speaking or training on this often sensitive topic, then feel free to reach out to me directly at www.lambertsfisher.com. Also, again, please check out my award-winning book, Diversity in Clinical Practice, available at amazon.com for its benefit to you. I look forward to addressing as many topics as I can in future podcasts to help you improve your relationship as much as possible at work, at home, and in your community. And as always, remember this: you don't need to know everything about everyone in order to have a positive impact on someone. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a great day.
Tune in each week and find out how to demand and implement diversity at your job. To hear more, check out previous Diversity Dude shows on ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com.
At Hy-Vee, we take pride in being part of the communities we serve. In 2021, we donated more than 14 million meals, and this year, we're committed to doing even more. For over 90 years, we've been the place that people turn in time of need, and we take that very seriously. That's why we're loading our semis full of food this week and making deliveries across the Midwest to help families this Easter. To join our effort, simply donate when you're at the checkout. Together, we can make a big difference for those in need.
For millions of Americans, the pandemic impacted our financial situations, and a lot of people lost their jobs. But that should not mean you have to lose your house if you can't pay for your mortgage. Listen, no need to feel ashamed if you missed a payment or 2 or 3, because there's a local organization that's willing to help you get caught up on those payments so you can keep your home. Let me tell you about the Minnesota Home Ownership Center. It's a nonprofit whose sole purpose is to prevent you from going into foreclosure. The Minnesota Home Ownership Center has a network of organizations around the state to review everything with you, explain your options, and then advocate for you to get the help you need. And get this, they won't charge you because it's all free. Check out hocmn.org or give them a call at 651-410-1086 to set up an appointment. You worked hard to get into that house. Let Minnesota Home Ownership Center help you stay in it.
All right, did you know I was the Mommy Slam Dunk Champion?
Really?
Yes, really, don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, go to left, fake 'em out. Mama, go up, mama!
She did it.
Again?
You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare.